in a sum of 10 million Ghana cedis with two sureties, both required to provide landed properties in Accra as justification. The bail follows a vigorous application by his legal team during court proceedings. Professor Ameyaw Akumfi is facing 4 charges related to the controversial SkyTrain project, which involved $2 million payment for a proposed urban rail system that was never executed. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges, including willfully causing financial loss to the state and intentionally misusing public funds. As part of his bail conditions, the court has ordered him to surrender his travel documents, including his passport, to the court registry. Let's get some details on this. Our colleague Laud Adu Asare has been following this. He's joined us a few minutes after returning from court. Laud, thank you for joining us to start with. So what exactly else is we know that 4 charges have been slapped on Professor Ameyaw Akumfi, but walk us through what exactly happened in court today.
Right, Martin. So you'd recall that this is the 3rd time that the proceedings have been called, but this is the first time that the former minister has appeared. The other 2 sitters he missed because, according to his lawyers, he had been admitted for medical reasons, right? So he was in hospital. Well, today we realized that he was wheeled into court in a wheelchair. He was calm and composed, but he was, I should say, relaxed, right? And they took his plea. He pleaded not guilty to all the charges proffered against him. You outlined that earlier. Causing financial loss to the states, intentionally dissipating public funds, and then conspiracy to commit crime. The first accused person, the ex-CEO of GIF, Solomon Asamoah, his plea has already been taken, and he is currently on a 15 million cedi bail. But Martin, Solomon is yet to meet his bail conditions, and so as of the time that he was granted a bail, he still remains in the custody of the National Intelligence Bureau, awaiting to meet those bail conditions. Now, the lawyers of Professor Ameyaw Akumfi, led by Aaron Duke, Sasu, he indicated that the 80-year-old former minister, despite the fact that he's aged or is aging, has been cooperating religiously with the investigators. He indicated that in some instances, he undergoes over 6 hours of interrogations, and despite this, he still comes. And so he was praying the courts to grant him bail because it's evident that he's not flight risk. He's going to make himself available and all that. And so the court, presided over by Justice Comfort Tasiame, granted him the bail. The prosecution led by Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Remsai, he did not oppose that bill application or the motion for the bill, except to add that they should vary the conditions because as far as Solomon is concerned, Solomon was given to report to the investigators 3 times a week, but he wanted for Ameyaw Akumfi to be just one, considering his condition and all that. And one thing we also noticed, Martin, was that there was a presence of former statesman S.K. Boahene. There was also the presence of MP for Teshiman South, Martin Ejimensah Kosa, and then former member of Parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Ejapon. Now, from our checks, we learned that Kennedy Ejapon is stepping in as one of the sureties of Professor Ameyaw Akumfi. So that was established after the hearings. And so that basically transpired as far as Professor Akumfi's case is concerned. But Martin, there was also the case of the former Signals Bureau, Kwabena Edu Boahene. You know that the last time we were in court, his lawyer, led by Samuel Sacha, indicated that he had been picked up right after he was granted the bail for a different matter regarding the Ghana Water Company. Now, today when the case was called, however, the main business of the day was supposed to be a case management conference, right? And the prosecution had been directed by the courts to file their disclosures. Now, Dr. Justice Remsai, he again led the prosecution today. He notified the court that he hadn't been able to file those disclosures because the investigator who should have signed was indisposed, and so he prayed for additional time. That was not opposed. But then, Martin, interestingly, we saw some movement even before the case could go on. We saw Samuel Atachia and then the Deputy Attorney General, they stepped out of the courtroom to have some conversation. And then later on, when the case was called, they had a sidebar private meeting with the judge. They actually approached the judge and they had a meeting of some sort for a while. Now, after which the judge came to order that they should file their disclosures by June 2nd, Martin. Now, right after making this order, Justice Nyedu Nyanteye also added that the defense lawyers, the lawyers for Kwabena Boahene, his wife, and the third accused person, should only engage the prosecution in any, plea bargain arrangements. Okay. Only after the prosecution has filed all the disclosures. Now, we could not really understand the context of this because prior to this, there hadn't been any conversation about plea bargaining, right? Yeah. And so we asked the lawyer for Kwabena Boahene, Samuel Sacha, and he gave us some context to it. We can listen to him.
He's very free.
Okay.
He's been admitted to bail.
Okay.
So we are going on the main case.
Okay.
It will always be done premise on the papers filed. I do not think that is the way that we are going.
So as instance now, you have not made any offer whatsoever?
We've never made any overtures at all.
Do you consider that?
No. There's nothing on the table for us to plea bargain.
What do you make of the delay of the prosecution in filing their disclosures as of now?
I'm not too sure. Maybe the issue will be with the Attorney General. Let's give him the space to prosecute the case. And let's respect the fact that if an Attorney General wants an adjournment, then we shouldn't challenge it.
Right, Martin, so you heard Samuel Sacha be categorically asked them whether the defense were considering a plea bargain for Kwabena Boahene and then the other accused persons because of what the judge had noted, whether there was any implication of that matter. And then he was categorical. He said they're not considering anything, but the judge was simply stating all the viable options to them. And so, Martin, that's what it says as far as Adu Boahene is concerned.
Yeah, so it means Adu Boahene has also been granted bail?
He has already been granted bail. You realize that he was on a bail, and immediately that he was granted a bail, he was rearrested for the charges on the a separate matter that has to do with the Ghana Water Company. Mm-hmm. He has again been granted bail on that. We are yet to get the full details of the bail conditions, but it was the reason why he, together with his wife, they came in court today, and then they left to the house because he drove to the court himself.
Okay, so as we speak, the former Signals Bureau Director is on bail, not in the custody of Iyoko as he has been for some time.
Indeed.
All right. Thank you very much, Laud Adu Asare, updating us with what transpired here in Accra from the courts. Two big issues that we've been following for you. One having to do with Professor Ameyaw Akumfi, which is in relation to the $2 million SkyTrain project that did not happen, but payment was made. He is also on bail, 10 million Ghana cedi bail with two sureties. And like you just heard, the former Signals Bureau boss has also been granted bail on two separate charges that were leveled against him. He was granted bail earlier and rearrested on a separate matter. That also, he's been granted bail. So a lot is happening when it has to do with the courts here in Accra, and subsequent bulletins will update you as and when we do get further information. Still on issues about the courts, though, we know that some activities have also been happening in the Ashanti region because the Kumasi High Court has acquitted former President Akufo-Addo's nominee for the Juaben municipal chief executive position, which happened in 2021. Now, he was charged on bribery allegations case that was made against him by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Alexander Kwabena Safo Kantanka was caught on a video allegedly demanding a refund of monies he gifted to assembly members to endorse his nomination as MCE. Now, he lost that nomination, and in the video, he was exchanging words with people presumed to have taken the money from him, which he was asking for them to return. Let's listen to Ibrahim Abubakar, our correspondent, who's been following this for us in the courts from the Ashanti region.
After failing to get 2/3 of vote to secure his nomination as the Juaben MCE, visibly angry Alexander Safo Kantanka was seen in a viral video demanding a refund of money he has given to some of the members. Based on the viral video, the OSP charged him with 26 counts of election-related corruption. He first appeared before a Kumasi High Court on June 1, 2022. On April 9, 2024, the High Court partially dismissed an application by the accused on a submission of no case of answer. The court determined that the prosecution had established a prima facie case on 3 of the charges and accordingly directed the accused to open his defense on those counts. The accused subsequently presented his testimony and underwent cross-examination. Judgment was initially set for November 28, 2024, but the trial judge, Justice President Akufo-Addo, was transferred. However, because she had already submitted a case completion plan before a transfer, she returned to give the ruling on Monday, May 26, 2025. The court acquitted and discharged the accused on the grounds that the prosecution failed to prove that the money he was demanding for in the viral video was linked to the allegations made against him. Kwame Adomapia is the counsel for the accused.
At the end of the full trial, our case has been sustained by the court as reasonable probable, for which reason my client has been acquitted and discharged. There is no other damage control than a judgment of a court of competent jurisdiction saying that you are alleged to have done ABCD, but haven't gone through full trial, and the court of competent, like a high court, saying that no, you are not what you were alleged to be.
After almost 3 years of legal battle, Alexander Safo Kantanka is now a free man. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi High Court.
And that's a report about the court case involving Alexander Kwabena Safo Kantanka. And so if you go to our website, 3news.com, you get details of this particular story and all the big ones we've brought to you so far. In a moment, we'll be turning our attention to what's happening in the world of business when the team does join us. So do stay with us. We'll bring you details of business, news, and sports, as well as all the media stories happening in the country. Stay with us.